Hey, everybody, how you doing? It's Thomas Howard, aka DJ Doc, and I want to welcome you to Straight Talk. Yeah, today we are talking with a young man who is going to be talking to us about lupus, and we wanted to do that because this is actual lupus month, okay? And we want to make sure that you guys are aware of some things, and if you've got questions and so forth, know that you can contact us via the comment section here on Facebook. All right. In the upcoming weeks, we're going to go ahead and have it set up so that you can actually call into us and get that done as well. Okay. So I want you to just right now uh, sit back, relax, join us as we go through and I get you to this young man. So, my guest today, all right, is a young man who has been dealing with this for quite a while. His name is Emmitt Henderson III. He is a male lupus warrior veteran since 1995. All right. He decided to be a full time advocate for this disease because it has debilitated him for half of his life. He created his own organization called Male Lupus Warriors Corp. It is a nonprofit organization, and he did this in hopes of inspiring anyone with any disease to let them know that they can overcome the worst. If you would, everyone, I'd like you to put your hands together and help me welcome Emmitt Henderson III. Hey, Emmitt, how you doing, man?
Hey, Doc, I'm blessed to be here. Thank you for having me, sir. Thank you for having me.
All right, all right. I just got to say, I am very much aware of what lupus is and what it does. But what I'd like you to do for our listeners is let everyone know what lupus is.
Absolutely. Lupus is an autoimmune disease where your immune system basically fights against itself. Your immune system, which is designed to take care of you, to help yourself rid of any type of foreign entities or diseases or anything, instead does not know the difference between that and your healthy organs. So therefore, the confusion causes that your body to attack itself. In males, most of the common is kidneys, but it also affects the hearts, the lungs, the skins, the brain. Basically, every organ in your body is what lupus does to you. There are different types of lupus, but the most common one is the one I just described.
hmm And I want you to tell us a little bit because as you had spoken about it, it's something that you've been dealing with. You said half of your life. Give us a little backstory about this.
Oh yeah, man. It's something that goes back to 1995, where I was officially diagnosed with two forms of lupus, which is systemic lupus, the common one, and then lupus nephritis, where it attacks the kidneys. But it goes further back than that, though. In 1980, I had symptoms of lupus, but back then it was not diagnosed. That was discoid lupus of the skin. So I grew up in elementary school with a rash all over my body and with fevers in conjunction with it. So the doctors could not figure out what the rash was, could not figure out what was triggering the fevers. They took biopsies of my skin samples, could not figure it out. I was
hmm
ended up diagnosed with fevers and rash of unknown origin.
Right now, the one thing that you said that I want everyone to be aware of is that you said in elementary school. So that was what age? I mean, seriously,
This
what
was
age?
1980. I was 10
Okay,
years old, man. 10 years
right,
old.
right. Okay, so go on and get us up to speed. Go ahead.
Well, once the rash and the fevers were going on as a young kid, um, I dealt with that, and my parents dealt with that for about a year and a half. Once that kind of faded out on its own after that point. Now, the rest of the time, as a normal kid going out and play, the little average sickness here and there, no big deal. But fast forward 15 years later now, I'm a young adult at the age of 25. I've
hmm
already got my two kids. I own my own property. I already have an established management career in the automotive and trucking industry. I thought life was good, man. I thought
Right.
life was good. And then all of a sudden, I'm getting these very bad, severe joint pains. These joint pains are a very common symptom of lupus. But as a young man growing up, as men, period, we don't complain when we feel hurt. We don't complain or go to the doctors. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes. Yes.
When
Yes.
things come up like that, it's like, okay, I got a job to do. I got money to make. I'm not going to let this little pain, subside me. So I've dealt with it for a while. It got to a point where it got really bad that I decided to go into the emergency room. When you go in and complain about joints, all they're going to do is x-rays. They did x-rays and they found nothing. So therefore I was sent home.
Right.
And now I'm looking crazy. Like, what am I feeling all these pains for? There's nothing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Not even a week later, now it's my knees. I wake up out of bed, I fall out of bed because my knees can't support me. And I didn't know what was going on. Again, went straight to the emergency room. By the time I get there, my knees are feeling better and I'm almost ready to walk. But I was already there, get checked out, x-rays again, nothing came up. So now they dismissed me for the second time. And that's all it took for me to feel that there's nothing wrong with me. I don't know what it is. I'm not going back. I had a job to do. So therefore, I went through that for almost 2 years.
Now,
2 years of the joint pains.
what year was that when you first
Th-
first encountered that, if you can remember?
that was in 93. In
Okay.
1993, I dealt with that.
All right.
And then the pain got so bad, it got to my lower back in 1995. In 1995, when the pain got to my lower back, I kept thinking, I don't have a joint back there. I don't know what this is. I go in, and now they decide to check blood. And that's when everything started.
Right, right. And I was asking what year it was because I know that even now, 2022, things are a little bit better when they start to look for what could be going on. The old days of, yeah, we'll do an x-ray. Oh, there's nothing there. You're fine, go home. You know,
Exactly.
and
That's
and that
exactly what I went through.
right, and that was why I wanted to make sure that everyone understood that it was 1993.
Yes.
You're looking at almost 20 some odd years later, and it is much easier now to diagnose this. But as you said, a lot of males refuse to go in when they're feeling bad. They just want to shrug it off, you
Right.
know. And I want you to talk a little bit about your goal with making sure that men are aware of this disease.
Well, one of the biggest things, first of all, is to implement the affirmation that it is okay to not be okay. We feel that we always have to be at our highest peak in everything that we're doing. We're men. We stand tall. We're kings. We do everything that we can to let everybody know that we got this. Because unfortunately, the minute that we show some type of vulnerability, the minute that we show that we have a weakness, we feel that we've let everybody down. So
Right.
we don't want to do that. But I guess I found out the hard way that me trying to keep this stature of continuing to work, continuing to raise the kids, not resting when I'm told to rest, I'm having this disease take over my body and destroying my organs. If
Mm-hmm.
I was more mindful and concentrated on taking care of that, then everything would have been so much easier for me. We need to get that stigma out of our head that we are weak if we open up about what we're going through. We need to remove, those type of stigmas that lets us or makes us look like we're weak because we don't show any weakness. We don't show anything like that. Because we don't show that, it's like people are going to think that we're always strong. So therefore, nobody's really going to ask us how we're doing. If we can get that out of our head and understand that things that we go through is for the better part of ourselves that we need to take care of, doc, so much things would be so much easier. I wish I knew what I know now. I
Right.
would have made a
And
big difference.
and that's one of the things that I always try and when I'm speaking and so forth, I let men know it's okay, like you said, to not be okay. You know,
Absolutely.
sometimes you have to let people know, you know what, I'm not doing okay. And it's not that you've let anyone down, but you're
Right.
realizing that something's going on. And I
Right.
also tell people when your body is doing things that it normally doesn't, there's something going on. You know,
Absolutely.
something
Yeah,
going on.
that's
So
true.
that okay. So with starting this, what made you want to be an advocate?
Well, I for the first 23 years of lupus, I maintained my career working. I missed a lot of work because of surgeries, because of transplants, because of, all kinds of things I went through, including dialysis and everything. In 2019, lupus decided to pick my brain. And now I got diagnosed with a brain disease that they have no diagnosis on what the actual brain disease is. So
Okay.
they're giving me medication that is helping me with migraines and my symptoms, but they don't have an answer for me. So now they're telling me that they cannot let me go back to work. When I decided to create my organization, all those years of being sick, one of the biggest things that I had was support from my immediate family.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of them, I didn't have no support at all. Outside of them, there wasn't another brother that I could turn to and say, hey, bro, how did you feel when you went through this with your illness? Because nobody spoke up. There
Right.
wasn't support groups that men felt welcomed because hardly men ever showed up.
Right.
And so I decided to create an organization where I want to be that voice now. I want to
Okay.
be that one to where people can reach out and say, yo, this brother had lupus for 20 something plus years. Maybe he can help me and give me some tips or whatever. And that's how it all started.
Excellent.
It's how it
Excellent.
all started, man.
And you know, it takes something like that and someone like you to assist people with the fact of knowing, okay, there is resources out here. You know, there are people that I can talk to. I don't have to do this and go it alone. Because
Right.
unfortunately, a lot of times we don't want to bother or we feel like burden our families with this, you know. So
Absolutely.
I love the fact that you have this organization where people can reach out for information as well as um, the ability to have someone to talk to, because
Right.
that alone is very huge, you know, to be able to have something like that occur. So I think
Absolutely.
that's fantastic. That's
Thank you.
fantastic.
Thank you.
Now, how long have you had the nonprofit?
My organization started in 2019 as an LLC, and I just did that to put my information out there. Created the name Male Lupus Warriors to let
Mm-hmm.
everybody know that this is an organization by a male. Once I was able to do that, I knew that I can help more people out in becoming a nonprofit. So I dissolved the LLC to become a nonprofit as of 2021 last year.
Okay.
And from there, it's just the blessings keep coming. I have more resources now where I could extend my help out to more people, not just males, but anybody in the lupus and autoimmune community that can use any type of financial assistance based on being debilitated of not working because of our illness.
Right. Right. Now, I know that you focus on the males, but I also know that there are organizations out there for women as well.
Right.
Correct?
Yes, there is.
Okay. All right. So, you know, the biggest thing that I always look at is the fact that a lot of times people want to um, say it's just this, it just affects that person, it just affects that race, or it just affects that sex, you know. But this is something that affects all people.
Yes, it does. And you're right. The statistics is that in men, we're 1 out of 10. So we're only 10% of the population of lupus patients that have lupus. That
Mm-hmm.
number is starting to rise a little bit, but I think there's a few different factors that causes that, not just because of the fact that they're diagnosed, but because of the fact that men are actually now being more mindful and stepping up and getting checked. And so,
Right.
therefore, those numbers could be going up. Women, African American women, are the most common women right are the most common population that is being diagnosed with lupus now.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this because of how debilitating this disease is with all our organs, I mean, as people in general, yes, we do need to mind our bodies. And like you had said earlier, if it's something that's not been going on before and it's happening now, something's wrong.
Right. Right. And it needs to be something that, you know, you look at and you try to get taken care of, you know.
Absolutely.
That's the first step. Now, I know that you have some events coming up. Tell us a little
Mhm.
bit about that.
So, as the nonprofit, and I've been on a lot of platforms, whether it's on social media, the local news, men's health, transplant platforms. I was noticed by an organization called the Seven Summits of Lupus, excuse me, and this gentleman gave me an offer that I just could not refuse. He wants me to join his organization to become one of the first lupus patients in his organization to do a hike for lupus awareness up Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania, Africa.
All right.
So they are going to sponsor me to go out there. I am going to, the best part about this, though, not only the hike up Mount Kilimanjaro, but we fly in a week before to visit the hospitals down in Africa, talk with the rheumatologists, talk with the local lupus organizations out there. A lot of
Hmm.
them follow me on social media. They know who I am and they know what I do. So it'd be my honor actually now to meet them and see them down there, talk to them about my journey, about lupus and things that are going on. Then we're going to do the hike up Mount Kilimanjaro with the theme that anything is possible. And
Okay.
that's just to inspire the average of anybody with that disease that anything is possible.
Fantastic. Fantastic. And what else have you got going on?
Right after that, we come back and in San Diego, in my hometown here, we are having a Lupus Gala event. We are looking at to have a nice formal catered live music, giveaways, prizes, celebrity guests, celebrity speakers, doctors, organizations come out to where we're just celebrating a gala for warriors by warriors.
Hmm.
May is Lupus Awareness Month, but having these events throughout the year just reminds and puts that awareness out there for our disease. And not only that, but I look at the fact that if lupus doesn't have a day off with us, why should we have a day off? We can advocate all year round. So this is why we're having this gala in October.
Correct. Correct. Well, the big thing, we definitely, Rock Media, we want to be a part of that. And,
Would love to have you.
yes, with the gala, we will definitely, come out and cover the red carpet, as well as, whatever we can do to promote it and let people know that this will be taking place and so forth. So we're definitely going to work with you on that. Um,
Absolutely, sir.
I know that I met you at another event, and
Hmm.
I was just the story that you had told at that time. You know, people have heard a little bit here, but I want to say, everything you're doing for people and making sure that men are aware of what's going on is fantastic.
Thank you.
Fantastic. So
Thank you.
now I want you to um, give a little bit of hope to individuals dealing with
Hmm.
lupus. Let them know a little bit about what, that it's not all lost. Like you said, they can get through this.
Absolutely. Having lupus definitely will give you a lifestyle change, but it doesn't mean that it's a lifestyle that is hard to deal with or that's debilitating at all. When I was told I had lupus in 1995, there was a lot of little known about it to where they didn't think I'd have a future at all. Here I am, 27 years later, advocating for it, and I'm about to climb Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa. There is hope with any autoimmune disease as well as lupus. However, it starts with us. What that means is that we need to be more of everything needs to be self care, self love, self teach ourselves, self education, self knowing what is out there that can cause interference in our everyday life and remove it. Toxicity, negativity, any of those stress factors is what helps, or is what excuses, is what causes lupus to flare. We don't need to be have any of that, and that pretty much applies to even a healthy person. We don't need the high blood pressure, especially African Americans. We need to stay straight on our health and get checked out. If it's irrelevant, don't make it relevant. Why live these type of lives? Because we don't need to develop any type of illness in our body that's not there. Lupus is something that they say that could be caused environmentally, it could be caused by stress, it could be drug induced. There's a lot of different factors. But if we live that life to where we try to live our best life and try to stay as healthy as possible, man, we could take it a long ways. We could take it a long ways. Lupus does not have to define you. Let you define you, but that also has to do with the choices.
Right. And the big thing that you said is that stress. I know a lot of individuals have talked about the fact that when they're stressed out and so forth, they get a flare, you know.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
love the fact that you talked about self-care. The biggest thing that you have to do, whether you have a disease or not, is to make sure that you practice self-care. It's so
Amen.
important to do that and take care of yourself, you know.
Amen. That's it.
Yeah, and I wish I was going to be going with you up that mountain. All right, I don't know who I'm kidding. I'm not trying to go up a mountain. I'm I you have my prayers and I'm with you, but I know that you're going to do this thing. You've been knocking it
Yes,
out and
sir.
climbing mountains, it sounds like your entire life. And I know you're going to
Yes,
continue
sir.
doing that. So, right now, everybody, I want you to know that Emmitt is here. If you need to reach out to him, you've got Emmitt Henderson III. He is a lupus advocate, Male Lupus Warriors. Okay, you can see his Facebook there. I have his IG up and his Twitter. That's the phone number to reach him, his email, as well as the website. So
Yes.
just make sure that you know that there are resources, there are individuals, there are organizations out there that can help you with lupus. All right. And I know that he is here and he's talked about making sure that men are aware of this disease and wanting to advocate and let them know that they should go ahead and be checked if they have any questions, don't know what's going on with them. But if you need to, I'm sure Emmitt does not mind you reaching out to him if you are a female because he will get you into the right hands as well. Okay?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, Emmitt, I thank you so much for being on with us today. With Lupus Awareness Month, it's always good to make sure that people are aware of what's going on and to the fact that they can get help, that there are organizations out here that will assist them. And I thank you so much for your time, sir.
I appreciate you, Doc. I really do. Thank you so much. Happy Lupus Awareness Month, everybody. Thank you.
All right. Take care. We'll talk to you later.
Yes, sir. You too.
Hey, y'all. I'm just so glad you were able to join us today. We've been putting a lot of information out, and we want to make sure that we're giving you good information. We're making sure that you're aware of certain things that are going on in the health fields and things of that nature. But I want you to make sure that you stay with us and you can see what's going on and so forth. If you've got questions, also feel free to reach out to us. All right, we will get you in touch with Emmitt as need be, as well as if we need to get you into speaking with some others, we'll do that as well. Okay. So this has been Thomas Howard, aka DJ Doc, and I thank you for joining me here on Straight Talk. Peace, y'all.